This episode is made possible by our sponsor, Landmark College, the college for students who learn differently, offering comprehensive supports for students with ADHD and other learning differences, both on campus and online. Learn more at lcdistraction.org.
Hello, this is Dr. Ned Hallowell, and welcome to Distraction. Today, I'm going to address a question we received from a listener named Jennifer about how neurotypical people engage in a task versus those with ADHD. She wrote, "Hello, doctor. If we ADHD people get engaged with an activity or topic based on interest, urgency, challenge, or novelty, rather than importance, what does that mean neurotypical people do? Do they just accept some authority figure's idea of importance? If not, if they do their own thinking and figure out a thing is important, then doesn't that make them start to be interested in it? I guess I'm not clear on the difference between noticing the importance of something, finding it interesting, and then engaging with it." Well, Jennifer, that's a very astute question. I think the real difference is one of planning versus impulse. We with ADHD, our attention is sort of grabbed. We suddenly are captured by whatever the scene might happen to be. Whereas the so-called neurotypical, and for listeners, neurotypical means, the mythical normal human being, which I don't know actually exists. So the neurotypical people, plan to get interested in something. And so, no, Jennifer, they don't just accept some authority's idea of importance. They decide something is important, and then they get interested in it. But they plan, and whereas but we are more than the neurotypical people are, those mythical creatures who are normal. But we do gravitate toward high-stim situations. That's why you find us in operating rooms and, traders on the commodities exchange and courtroom attorneys and anywhere you find high stim, riding bulls or whatever it might happen to be. That's where we tend to find our focus. Whereas the neurotypical person plans out his or her day and gets interested based on the degree of interest he or she assigns to a given task. It's a wonderful question, and we, with ADHD, we're not completely at the mercy of high-stim situations, but we are much more sort of automatically drawn to them. As a tropism, much as a flower is drawn to the sun, and to resist it takes considerable effort. That's why we are susceptible to addictions and compulsions. That's why we have to exert more willpower to resist those kinds of things. But it is also why we can achieve states of hyperfocus in those states of high stimulation, like a surgeon performing an operation. Don't worry, they hyperfocus in the OR. They have trouble with the paperwork afterward. It's one of these myths that people with ADHD can never pay attention. It's just when we are in our downtime, our mind wanders off to looking for something else more interesting, and the boring stuff like the paperwork we kind of lose track of and are prone to forget or postpone or overlook. Wonderful question, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sending it in.
The episode you just heard was made possible by our sponsor, Landmark College, the college for students who learn differently, offering comprehensive supports for students with ADHD and other learning differences, both on campus and online. Learn more at lcdistraction.org.